there were so many good players, but I've actually read a number of articles this week with a few of the Scottish players in that team of the tournament. To Pilato, Hugh Jones, as well. But like, if you're telling me those two lads are getting in ahead of, Gail Fiku or Dante or Gary Ringrose, like, I don't know what rugby they've been watching. Yes, they created a couple of tries, but ultimately on the big occasion, they they didn't perform well. So for me, Andrew Porter, what a tremendous championship that he had. Dan Sheehan at hooker, I read a stat there just before coming on, Donny. He made 5 line breaks in the competition. All the other hookers didn't make 1 in the competition, and he played 183 minutes less than the other hookers in the competition. So it has to be him. Comes to tight head, I know he received the yellow card, probably should have been a red. Antonio, what a beast of a man he is. He can lock down a scrum. Second row, Flamand, he scored a brace in the penultimate game. He's a quality operator. James Ryan as well in the second row. Again, I read that Warren Gatland wanted to take him on the 2021 Lions tour, but due to personal reasons or a few other things, he didn't actually go on that tour. So I'm going to keep going because I'm going to go with an full Irish back row: Josh van der Fleer, Peter O'Mahony, and Caelan Doris. So all you haters out there, I'm sorry, but it's the best back row in world rugby at the minute. And I think actually Josh van der Fleer probably didn't have his best games in an Irish jersey, and there's so much more to come from this side. I think Peter O'Mahony just goes about his work, and you could maybe argue that you could put another back rower in there that would do a better job. But as a unit, I think they're hard to beat. Anton Dupont at 9, of course. Anton Dupont, I've seen him taking his top off in the last game against Wales. Flipping heck, this guy's got like a 10-pack rolling out from underneath that jersey. So he's at number 9. Mason Dupont playing for Ireland. Wow. Anyway, Johnny Sexton at 10, just because of what he's achieved over the last championship and over his whole career. I could easily went for Ntamak. Finn Russell's name was in there as well, but I have to go from the old pal Sexton. Damien Pinot on one wing, Mac Hansen on the other wing. Just 2 really dangerous runners. Both, Mac Hansen 2 Man of the Match awards during the championship. Pinot scoring tries for fun. My 12 is an interesting one because I think during the championship, obviously Ireland didn't have a consistent 12. McCluskey in for a couple of times. Bundy in. Henshaw swapping around there as well. And maybe it was an area that they need to clean up if they're going to challenge for Rugby World Cup. But Dante, for me, I know he was limited to minutes in the Six Nations Championship, but anytime he plays, he is unbelievable. So yeah, I'm going to have to put his name in there. So yeah, Ringrose at 13. Anytime he played for Ireland, when he started those 3 games, they looked a class above. When he didn't start in the 2 games, they did look a little fragile in the 13 channel. So I have to go with Ringrose. And Ramos at 15. He's a kicking machine. He scored a couple of lovely tries during the championship. He's very settled under the high ball. He's surprisingly a lot quicker than you think too. So yeah, he also plays with a little bit of flair. So Irish and French players, first and second. So if anybody's going to argue that Duan van der Merwe should be in there, then just look at that box kick from Gibson Park that Mac Hansen, which led to the try, and that's my reason why he's not in there. So I'll probably upset a few of the Scottish guys, and maybe a few of the English. And that's also a conversation that we had at the weekend amongst the English fans was, if there was a Lions team being picked tomorrow, would any of those English players get in ahead of any of the Irish players? And my answer was probably no. And I think that's where we are at the minute. There seems to be a bit of a separation between the top 4 sides in the world: Ireland, France, South Africa, and New Zealand.